Welcome to Barefoot in America. So excited to bring you this practice today from Salt Lake City, Utah. We are at the Great Salt Lake Shoreland Preserve and just met Mike, who works here, and he shared with me that there's roughly 5,000 acres of preserved land here that started in the 80s. We've seen some beef cattle grazing that the ranchers leave out here through the winter to help maintain the land. We've seen lots of different birds flying in the sky. We've heard a few fighter jets in training go overhead, and the wind is erratic today, and it's just perfect. Love being at this nature preserve and just love seeing the land with the mountains of Salt Lake City around us. If you like what we're doing here with Barefoot in America, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. And today's practice is coming from a compilation of a number of comments. One friend said she recently had an ankle fracture and she would like a non-weight bearing practice. So we're going to stay on the mat today. We're not even going to stand. Lots of people are talking about hip openers, things for the piriformis, happy baby, as well as hip flexors. So that's going to be the main theme today. So we're going to start in child's pose. So take the time to come over to your hands and knees. And if you need to, put a block under your hands. And I will admit, I have a friend who does not like child's pose because her knees don't bend this far. If they do, take traditional child's pose. And if not, take a modification where your hips stay over your knees and you just slide the hands forward for a variation of puppy posture. And if you can, let the hips drop to your heels, finding that deep hip and knee flexion. And take a moment to just connect with your breath. You could put a second block under your forehead if your forehead doesn't reach the earth, or forehead on the ground. I'm going to use that block so you can hear me better than when my head's all the way down. So just give yourself this time to melt into child's pose, recognizing all the benefits that you receive from this simple posture. The deep, deep hip and knee flexion, the elongation and lengthening in your spine. And if you have a C shape in your child's pose, see if you can just melt your heart towards the earth. You might notice the compression of your thighs against your belly. And that every time you breathe into your belly, there is an expansion on the inhale and a drawing in on the exhale. And between that breath coming in and out of your body, massaging your internal organs, the pressure of the abdomen against the thigh adds some stimulation to your digestive tract and the vital organs of your core. Just take a moment to be here in this surrendered posture of child and set an intention for your yoga practice today. Maybe it's a goal or an offering. Inhale up to all fours. Take a moment for just a few cat-cows. As we inhale, we lift our head and tailbone, swaying the back. Exhale, arch the back up, drop the head, tuck the tail under you, pull the navel in. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow, spine long from your head to your tailbone. Exhale to cat, spine long from your head to tailbone. And then adding this simple ready goose, inhale to cow. Exhale to cat, sit back to child's. Drop the elbows, scoop up to cow. Exhale to cat, sit back to child's. Drop the elbows, scoop through to cow, to cat, to child's. And take a few more rounds at your pace, just warming up the body, creating some mobility in the spine, allowing your hips and knees to go through flexion and this all fours position, and using your arms a little bit too. Pause here in all fours. And now adding a little bit more movement to cat-cow. Exhale to cat, and now take your torso to the left. Drop it down, find cow in the center, take your torso to the right, and then up to cat in the center. Torso left, center cow, torso right, center cat. And just take a few more rounds like your body is the jump rope. Adding more mobility to the hips, the shoulders, and the spine. Next time you're up in cat, switch directions. Torso to the right, cow in the center, torso left, cat in the center. And continue to go this way just a half a dozen times. Do your best to link movement with breath. And pause. Walk the hands forward. Take the puppy posture. Hips are right over the knees. Chest melting towards the mat. Creating extension in your spine. And some deep opening of the hips and gluteal muscles. Inhale back to all fours, and then have a seat and lie down on your back. Just coming around, lie down. Once you get there, inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, give your right leg a hug. Pull the knee to the chest. And just take a couple deep breaths. And as you hold your right knee, press your left foot away. And if you need to hold the thigh rather than the knee, it's perfect. And then holding the thigh with your hands, send your right foot to the sky for a simple hamstring stretch. Take a few deep breaths in it. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through your nose. Give the right knee another hug. Lower it down. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, give the left leg a hug. Pulling knee to chest. Holding the shin or the thigh. Press the right foot away from you to lengthen the right leg and stabilize your spine as the left knee comes to your chest. Breath full and deep. And transition your hands to the back of your thighs. Send your left foot to the sky, creating a hamstring stretch. And as your left foot grows to the sky, you can imagine pressing your thigh into your hands to really open up the hip joint. And give your left knee another hug. Lower the left leg down, arms over your head. Exhale, give both legs a hug. Pause in stillness. And if you want a little more, lift your nose to your knees, curling up like a ball. Exhale, lower the head and shoulders down. Hands on the back of the thighs, both legs to the sky. Press out of your heels, toes towards your nose, thighs pressing into your hands. Breath full and deep. And then take the legs wide, open up into a V. I like to hold the inside of my thighs, but some people prefer the outside. Whatever feels good to you. Wherever you are though, kneecaps, toes pointing straight ahead, pressing out of your heels, opening up the adductors of the hips, the inner thighs, really, really expanding into the shape of the wide-legged V. Exhale, close your legs. Inhale, open them. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Pause. Bring the knees towards your shoulders, a wide-legged hug the knees. And then hands are going to do a couple choices. You could hold your ankles, you could hold the outside edge of your feet, or your peace fingers could grab your big toes, taking the soles of the feet to the sky, knees deeply bent towards your shoulders, kind of, elbows on the inside of the knees, and then squeeze your knees towards your arms and do your best to let your sacrum descend towards the mat. Ideally, we're keeping our pelvis down on the mat, creating a really, really, really deep hip opener of happy baby. And to help you feel this a little bit more, we're going to take half of a happy baby. So keep your right leg, lower the left leg down, and when you lower the left leg down, that really helps to stabilize the spine and get the sacrum on the earth. So just pause and breathe into your half of a happy baby, maybe sensing a stretch in your hamstrings, your hips, wherever you feel it. Just tune in and sense and feel and invite it to soften. Spending some time here with a few deep breaths. Give it one more deep cleansing breath. And then return your left leg to the happy baby position. Holding your left leg, lower the right leg down. And again, feel how this right leg helps to stabilize the spine, keeping the sacrum down, left sole of foot to the ceiling, knee deeply bent. And just take a moment to relax here and feel whatever it is you're feeling and invite your body to soften and melt into the shape of half of a happy baby. Taking some deep cleansing breaths. And now returning your right leg back up to the happy baby position. Both soles of feet to the ceiling, sacrum rooting to the earth, knees hugging into the arms. And give yourself a few deep cleansing breaths here. And if you want to stay static and stationary, great. But if you prefer to play a little bit, let yourself kind of rock side to side like the baby in the crib, discovering his feet and body, just getting to know themselves as they develop. And let yourself kind of rock side to side and play with the leg angles if that feels good to your body. Yoga's really all about honoring what you feel and meeting yourself at an edge and letting it feel good. Last deep breath and full happy baby. Send both feet back up to the sky. Feel the length in the back of the legs. Arms at your side or float them overhead, reaching your hands in one direction, your feet in the other, in a perpendicular line, creating the L shape with your body. Exhale, give the legs a hug. Set your feet down on the mat, knees bent, feet flat. So we're not weight bearing, but we are going to use the foot. So if you are that person who can't put weight on one leg, you could do this one-legged, at least some of it. We're going to go into a bridge and we'll use a block in a minute, so have that handy. Starting bridging with arms at your side, and we like to say that your fingertips could touch your heels. If your knees don't do that, meet yourself where you are, but feel your feet right out in front of the hips so that the knees are pointing over the second, third toe and that the knees are coming straight out of the hip joint. Arms flat to the earth. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, press down through your feet as you hollow your belly, lifting your hips to a bridge pose. You can press through your arms to get a little more lift. Squeeze your buttocks, press through your feet a little more, and feel the knees pointing over the second, third toe. And lower yourself down one vertebrae at a time, slow and controlled. You can continue with your arms there or bend your elbows for robot arms. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hollow the belly, press through the feet, let the hips rise. Keep pressing through the feet and also press through the upper arms, lifting into your bridge, taking it as high as you comfortably want to go. And feel this variation of the arms if you chose to, and just notice how that feels in your body. And lower yourself down one vertebrae at a time. Starting with arms in either position, we'll go one step further this time. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hollow your belly, press through your feet, lift your hips. And then, if you want, tuck your shoulder blades under you, interlace the fingers, straight arms, pinky fingers press to the earth for a heart opener. Continue to lift the hips. Feel that chin tuck. Try not to turn your neck in this position. You're in a bit of a Jaladhara Bandha, the chin tuck, stimulating the front of the throat. We often speak of the thyroid being in this area and that we're stimulating the thyroid energy. Feet pressing down, pelvis lifting. And then release the shoulders. Set yourself down one vertebrae at a time. And then lastly, grab your block. And remember, the block has three heights. I like to say baby block, mama block, and papa block. So start with baby block and settle the block right under your sacrum, never your low back. The sacrum is much more stable, so feel the block there. And if you want to go higher, give it the quarter turn for mama block. And take a moment to just sense and feel that. And if the flexibility is there and you want to go for it, lift up to papa block. Give yourself just a half a dozen deep cleansing breaths, opening the hip flexors, likely with whichever level you chose. I tend to feel a lot of stretching in my low belly. It's where I carry some of my tightness, and I do feel the stretch in the hip flexors as well. And if you're on the highest level, let yourself come down to mama block, the middle level. And then everyone find your way to baby block, the lowest level. And with the block right underneath your sacrum, take your feet to the sky. Just a moment, opens up the dural tube. If you've had a lot of issues with low back pain, you may want to avoid this one, especially if it's been disc bulges or herniations. But otherwise, this is great for opening the dural tube in the low back a little bit. Let the legs come down, lift the hips, remove the blocks. Give your legs one last hug. And find your way to Savasana. Final resting posture, extending the legs out in front of you. Arms resting at your side, drifting away from your body. Feet falling open. A total surrender of your body. Feel yourself lying there. And give yourself permission to let go even more. Scanning your body from head to toe. Melting into the mat. Resting here as long as you like. Letting your arms get heavier. Your legs getting heavier. Your whole torso, from your head to your tailbone, simply melting into the mat. You're welcome to stay right there I thank you for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.